death counter on. Some of these are actually useful. Some of them are just fun to have. Sound finally. So that's game audio and voice. Some of these are actually. I mean, you didn't miss much. I was just doing some options and setting hats because hats are important. Sound finally. So that's game audio and voice. Some of these are still echo. I mean, you didn't miss much. I was just doing some options and setting hats because hats are important. All right, I'm trying to fix stuff while playing. Fortunately, this is a rather laid-back section of the game. Still echo. You can tell it's an intense action platformer because you can't even jump yet. Fortunately, this is a rather laid-back section of the game. Turn Unreal Guide down to 80. Yeah, okay. Alright, Echo is... I tried fixing everything I can think of for Echo, so it's probably out of my control at this point. Alright, Echo is... I tried fixing everything I can think of for Echo, so it's probably... I'm not watching the stream. I can actually... You know what? I'll turn the game audio, or the entire desktop audio off for a second. So I'm gonna be just mic, and we'll see if the audio is still there, or the echo is still there. I tried fixing everything I can think of for echo, so it's probably... I'm not watching the stream. I can actually... You know what? I'll turn the game audio, or the entire desktop audio off for a second. So I'm gonna be just mic, and we'll see if the audio is still there, or the echo is still there. Do I still have echo? I'm not watching the stream. I can actually... You know what? I'll turn the game audio, or the entire desktop audio... Still there. Yeah, I closed my like web browser and everything. There's no way I still have... Oops. There's no way I still have the Do I still have echo? The stream open. Still there. Yeah, I closed my like web browser and everything. There's no way. You shouldn't be able to hear music anymore. Right now it should be only stuff from my mic. Because I turned off all desktop audio. Still there. Yeah, I closed my like web browser and everything. There's no way. You shouldn't be able to hear music anymore. Right now it should be only stuff. Does mean you kind of get... Mic is catching echo. I don't see how the mic could be catching echo. I have these like massive bulky headphone things that... And there's no audio coming out of the mic is computer speakers itself. Also, when I tested this like a few days ago with the same setup, I didn't have any echo at all. And there's no audio coming out of the computer speakers itself. Also, when I tested this like a few days ago with the same setup, I didn't have the restream setup, any echo at all. Alright, well hopefully we can... that'll get sorted out at some point. How annoying is this echo? Should I just not talk? Or...
Double kill!
Anyway, you have two characters in this game that you can swap between. How annoying is this echo? Should I just not talk? Or... Big difference between the two right now is that Claire runs faster. Jerry has a slightly smaller hitbox, which is not that important at the moment. Okay, maybe I should turn this down a little. But, slightly faster movement is the only really difference for now. Jerry has a slightly smaller hitbox. But, later on, once you get more, like, weapons and stuff, they differ quite a bit. Slightly faster movement. So early on is going to be mostly Claire. But they get pretty good balance of use throughout the run, I think. Okay, I'm gonna just finish this screen and readjust volume again. They get a pretty good balance of use throughout the run, I think. I'm picking up some heart pieces here and there. This game is gets pretty tough by the end. So while you don't necessarily need those, it's definitely useful to have a bit of a safety buffer. It also lets you damage boost through obstacles if you need to, which can save time in places. Gets pretty tough by the end. So while you don't necessarily need those, so yeah, because this is the Mario land, it has some Mario mechanics, like being able to jump on enemies. The idea is that the stages are kind of divided into the overworld sort of area and gates. So it has some Mario mechanics. Each gate is based on a certain game franchise. So this is a Mario gate, and that means in it you get Mario abilities. So later, when we get to other gates, we will have other abilities. Each gate is based on... I have a Twitch. Can someone who actually has a link to my Twitch who's watching later when we get to other gates? Yes, thanks. I have a Twitch. Can someone who actually has a link to my Twitch who's watching later? Alright, so here's the first boss. There's a lot of bosses in this game. It's kind of a bit of a running joke that I died this guy a lot because he's a boss that you basically play by being patient. And obviously when you're trying to rush, you're not very patient. And so I jump into him a bunch and get myself killed. Here's the first boss. There's a lot of bosses in this game. It's kind of a bit of a running and then people joke that he's the hardest boss in the game, of course. He's a boss that you basically play by being patient. And so I jump into him a bunch. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get killed by Bowser again. I died to Bowser. Sorry, guys. It's okay. It's part of the. It's a necessity for the run. Oops. So you use Jerry for Bowser because he has a slightly smaller hitbox. Especially when he's running, he kind of crouches a little. It's okay. It's part of the. It's a necessity for the run. Okay, this is probably fine now. Especially when he's running, he kind of crouches a little. Yes, that's one first boss down out of many. I'm still echoing, aren't I? Yeah, I know that. Hopefully that can get sorted out at some point. I'm actually gonna turn down the Unreal guy. Yeah, so there's a little cutscene there to explain skill points. You gain EXP when you kill things, and you can also find skill points just kind of lying around as pickups. There are a bunch of skills you can equip that unlock as you kind of progress in the game. None of the ones I have unlocked yet are particularly helpful, so I'm just gonna wait until I unlock a few more before I ever open the skill menu for the first time. There are are a bunch. This is yes, this is 13 hours. As you kind of progress in the game. None of the ones I have unlocked yet are particularly helpful. So this isn't my greatest Mario segment, but I'm a little distracted at the moment with the audio stuff. This is yes, this is 13 hours. At some point, I don't know exactly when, I'm gonna have a co-commentator. Hard to kind of schedule everything sometimes, especially with very long runs. Yeah, the first run of this was somewhat impromptu and was over 24 hours straight. Oh, I missed that. I need that. Hard to kind of schedule everything. So yeah, you can also force game over from menu, which is pretty useful in a lot of rooms. One, because it resets little puzzle things like that, and two, because when you game over, you heal back. If you just barely squeak through a room, it can be useful to force game over at the start of the room, so that you can heal to not die in the next room. The game has kind of checkpoints at each room, so you'd never really lose that much by game overing unless it's a very long room. And there's gonna be you're actually pretty close on bosses. There's going to be probably a fair bit of game overs in this run, whether I like it or not. It's very easy to get killed by random things, especially when the game is this long. Audio fixed? Sweet. Oops. It's like, if this was a longer room, I would consider forcing a game over just after taking all that damage. Oh, I should have just done that anyway. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna jump over these guys. Nightmare gates are part of the run. So, the run category in this is true end any percent. If you've played this game before, but you haven't played it in the past, let's guess, maybe 5 months, I don't remember when the update came out, you actually won't even know what the true end is, because the true end was added a few years after the development of the original game finished. There used to be a bad end and a, I guess, less bad end, but now there's a true end, and it does require getting the nightmare gates, because if you don't do the nightmare gates, you only get the bad end, like the worst possible end. The estimate I ended up submitting was 13 hours, 30 minutes. My record's a little over 12, but I figured with the way like schedules worked out like this for me, I'm gonna be playing until like 5 AM my time, and some of the last bosses are a bit tricky, so I was somewhat worried that I wouldn't be able to effectively play the final bosses while very sleep deprived, and left myself a fair bit of extra time as like a buffer.
Wait,
get onto that guy in time. Right, so now that we got the key and back there, we can go through this door here. Okay, notice there's a lot of pipes around here. You can actually go down some of them. I'm not going down most of them because they mostly just have items I don't really need to pick up. What are you guys talking about? I feel like... am I getting more audio issues? We're gonna go up here. If I can actually manage to get up there, that is. Okay, get this quiver. Yeah, spoilers, there's quivers, so if you want, you can try to guess what game the quivers go along with. They're equipment for a certain item set. The point of this game, that's a tough one, because you kind of want to start by describing the whole story, of which I don't even know all of it.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？おは匠でギゼブ。
You're stuck in this sort of virtual video game world by a game developing AI kind of thing that got out of control. And there's a virus that is trying to destroy the systems and stuff. And you're trying to stop it, and so right now we're going around to different gates collecting 6 different chips that I think they like provide control into the system or something so that we can kind of purge the virus. Something like that. I miss a cycle in these things, which is kind of annoying. They're very slow. I mean, ultimately, this is not the greatest Mario section, but the game's so long that, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that big a deal. Oops, didn't mean to hit that again. So you're forced to use Jerry for this room for whatever reason. I think Claire just got tired and felt like taking a break. You might notice that Jerry moves a little more slowly, or you might not. Oops. Yeah, we're almost done gate 1. That's the Mario gate. I'm not a big fan of the Mario gate because one thing I think is really cool about this game is the various abilities you get later on and kind of swapping between them. And because this is so early in the game, you don't have any of your, like, attacks, basically. All you can do is jump on things. Oops. That was almost very bad. Actually, let's get both of these.
Oh no! Oh no!
The player character sprites are actually from
Oh no! Oh no!
a fighting game on the DS, I think. It's called, I think, like Jump Ultimate Battle Stars. I don't remember exactly. Whoops. Oh, that was really bad. Especially in an auto-scrolling room. Okay, I'm not gonna read text during an auto-scroller. Sorry, chat. Am I getting memed? Okay, Zephyr Whisper, I think, is not involved, but like, with the stuff he's saying, you never know. Because some of his developer commentary actually sounds almost correct. And he has a very similar name. It's making me start to doubt myself. Alright, and then here's the final boss of the first gate. Because the only attack so far is jumping, it's a bit of a plain boss. It's, you know, the kind of standard platformer style of boss where it's dodge for a while, boss becomes vulnerable for a short moment, hit the boss once, and see the health bar over on the right. It's gonna take 4 hits. And I will hopefully not do something dumb and die in the process, but you never know. This boss isn't actually the hardest boss. This boss is quite simple comparatively. I guess it can feel more difficult than it really is because you don't have a lot of options at your disposal either. You get a lot of both movement abilities and different attacks later in the game, and this is a bit simplistic, so it can feel like sometimes like things are out of your control when you get hit. But it's not random, it's all like either targeted at you or just fixed attacks. So yes, I'd say it's really, really long. It's a cool game. I'm glad you like it, Buffin. Anyway, so that's the first gate. So one of the things about this game, how it works, is that actually, just give me a moment. Okay. When you clear a gate, you gain the ability of that related to that gate for use outside the gate as well. So the Mario Gate ability was jumping on Mario enemies. So I wasn't able to do that before, but now I can jump on Mario enemies and kill them the way I was doing inside the gate. Actually, I should just game over. So these, the reason I couldn't progress here before is because there were these hammer bros and I was unable to damage them before. But now that I've cleared the Mario Gate, I can jump on them. Just clear them all out. And progress on. Yeah, so now you can see these are not Mario enemies, so I can't jump on them. Fortunately, I've got some helpful birds. for whatever reason, birds fly away from Jerry, so you can kind of throw birds at enemies. They're a bit hard to aim sometimes, which is why this section's a little annoying. But soon we're gonna get an actual attack ability set, and we won't have to do that again. So this is the ruined town taken over by the virus. You can see all the little virus segments. They want me to clear out the virus from their city control center so that they can kind of get the city working again, but I can't actually attack yet. So for now, instead, we're off to, oops, can't go this way. We're off to the second gate, where we will get an actual attack. So here's the second gate. This music or map might look familiar to you. This might also look familiar. Anyway, this is the Zelda gate. So, because it's Zelda, you get a sword. Also, this is where Jerry and Claire start to become a little more different, because I actually cannot switch to Claire in this gate. Jerry is the only one who can act in this gate, and he's the only one with the Zelda item set. So you notice every once in a while I pick up something kind of lying around. There are a lot of items spread around this game. Most of them are damage upgrades for the various weapon sets, or ammo upgrades for weapon sets. Each one is very small individually, but they add up, so... Here we're gonna buy a magic sword, so that's first piece of equipment. It's a 5% damage boost, which doesn't sound very big, but when you take into account that it applies to all attacks for either character, it's a pretty solid piece of equipment all around. And I also went into the skill tree for a moment there to put 5 points into increased damage with Jerry, which maxed out the skill. So now I've got pretty high damage for this point in the game, unless I'm one-shotting all these little green blobs. And of course, it wouldn't be Zelda without some dungeons. Okay, I'm getting hit by all those. Doesn't really matter. No, this game actually is free. I mean, I don't think it would be quite right to sell a game that's entirely made of sprite rips. Or I don't think it would go over very well with the owners of all the IPs, but... Oops. Because this is a Zelda dungeon, we've got keys. So, the keys aren't very interesting in this dungeon, but in the next dungeon, after this, we will see some cool use of keys, or cool not use of keys, more specifically, because one of the locked doors is actually skippable. So here's a second weapon. All the weapon sets have 3 weapons. So Jerry has a sword, and he also has arrows. So I have an ammo counter at the top of the screen right now. So you'll notice it does refill automatically. Enemies drop arrows, so you can get them that way, but also just over time your arrows will refill, which makes up for the total arrow size being rather low. And only, like, I can only hold 12 of them right now. The important part of different item types, I don't know if you noticed on that Octorok, here, I'm gonna get up to a bat on the ceiling and see if I can shoot him. So you notice that the damage number is like all multicolored there. That's because different enemies have different weaknesses and resistances. So there's 6 damage types in the game. The sword is melee, or whatever, physical melee damage type, whatever you want to call it. Arrows are projectile, piercing, I don't know. So they're different damage types, which means they're strong and weak against different enemies. And a big part of the game, especially the bosses, is picking the right moveset to damage the boss, both based on where the boss is and kind of like what spots the moveset hits, but also what weaknesses and resistances the boss has. This boss is kind of like an arrow aiming tutorial. Once you sword him enough, he'll send out these helmets up here. And you gotta shoot them a few times. So you might recognize this guy as a Zelda 2 boss if you've actually played that game. He's a bit different here. Notably, he has a lot more bullets. And there's the first dungeon here done. Okay, now that I have arrows, I can get through here. The arrows can actually be charged to shoot farther and pierce enemies. It's not very useful because it doesn't increase their damage, so you're not going to see me do that very often. Gotta drop stream? What's going on? Oh, for half a minute. Yeah, that's no problem then. Just mention it again when it comes up and I'll do whatever I gotta do. Anyway, so notice I went up through those red blocks here. Part of the goal of this dungeon, it's kind of tough. You want to get up to that top door with the red blocks active. So that takes a lot of wandering around the dungeon and also requires going through a door and using a key. But if you go up there first, you can shoot a switch over here. And now force a game over. Yeah, I can